Hello.
Then. Now.
Countdown to the queens.
Episode number 500.
Forever.
Looks like hell froze over.
Without any more further ado,
Together.
let's jump straight into the show. Hello, and welcome to episode number 189 of the TEW9 Challenge Run. We're here for what has been one of the most highly anticipated nights of the year on my calendar. We are here for Evolution 7, aka, if I were to say its full name, K-Pop Demon Hunters presents Evolution here in Seoul, South Korea. Our 2 nights in South Korea began yesterday with the King of the Ring pay-per-view. Fantastic wrestling show. We got a 100 match, we got a 99, and the show was just, from an in-ring perspective, probably one of the best we've ever done. This probably won't be, but, you know, the boys had their turn yesterday. Now it's the real men's turn with K-Pop Demon Hunters presents Evolution. We are going to find out our king and queen of, we're going to find out our Queen of the Ring winner tonight. Lyra Valkyria and Alexa Bliss in the Raw final. Nova Nebula and Jordan Grace in the SmackDown final. We've got our double title co-main event with the tag match, winner take all, Io and Kyrie against Ember Moon and Candice LeRae on the SmackDown side. On the Raw side, we've got Bianca Belair against Bayley. We've got 6-man tags all over the place. We've got a triple threat for the $1 Million Championship. And we've got a tag team match, tag team title match, Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade against Aphrodite, and a whole lot more. Huntrix, of course, are here, both the physical embodiment, you know, like, with because they have the real singers that like go out on shows and like award shows and like play the songs live. We have those in the house, and they will be performing one song physically, but we will also going to be doing, for lack of a better term, Space Jam, Who Framed Roger Rabbit style cut-ins with the animated Huntrix as well throughout the night. So yes, without any more further ado, let's jump straight into the fucking show. Pre-show match, Liv Morgan versus Thea Hale. Liv wins with the Oblivion in 8:43. Liv is a little bit more aggressive, but not really, because like at the end of the day, I don't want to just make Liv like just fucking completely snap, because this is a understandable situation that could have been avoided. So like this, she's not a horrible person. So while she isn't aggressive and annoyed at Thea, she does win clean. And like, whether it's passive aggressively or not, like pulls her up after the match and like pats her on the back, like, hey, good job. But yeah, Liv, she gets her win. She appears on Evolution. Her streak of being on all the pay-per-views continues, and she gets a 76, which actually is not that bad for her. So yeah, Colton went home before the show even kicked off. Okay, his show peaked here, but for the rest of you, we do have another 3 hours of pay-per-view to get through. Our opening video package. As I was saying earlier on, we're gonna splice in, like, through the power of editing, JFlow and Huntrix segments throughout the night. And this is just the opening video package. Actually, no, this actually isn't even really one of them. This is they're just a new version of how it's done that has been performed by JFlow that we use as the video package. You know, it's got like fight scenes of the opening of the film spliced in with wrestlers. You know, I've got the entire vision of this in my head because I've had this show fucking planned out for ages. Yeah. And we've got a JFlow version where they have their own verse in there. Like, I think they did that with Twice in real life. Like, God, I'm such a fucking geek. Why do I know all this? But I do. But yes, we're going to record a JFlow version, use it here, intro video, opening cinematic of the film spliced in with wrestling clips. You know, we've got them killing demons, and then, you know, one of the demons turns into Candice LeRae, because that's our real fucking demon. And yes, and the show kicks off. It's Tiffy time. Tiffany Stratton and the Blonde Barbies make her way out for the start of Evolution. And she goes, "Aw, so I guess for those of you who missed Monday Night Raw this week, we did a little oopsie. You see, Ariana Grace, Charlotte's little friend, was supposed to be here tonight to team with us, against us, in a 6-woman tag team match, but she can't make it to Seoul. Aw, don't save your tears. But I guess that now means we win by forfeit. And then out comes Charlotte Flair. And she stands on the ramp. Out comes Tegan Nox. You know, she stands side by side by Charlotte. Charlotte sort of looks out like she coming. Tegan just gives a nod. She looks back at the entrance ramp. And out comes their third member, Dakota Kai. Big pop. You know, I've been torn for obviously the past however long it's been, month and a half. In game, obviously. And obviously more than that in real life because, you know, I just knew Dakota was going to do this, and this. Like, I don't know if I wanted to go there. I was going to go either like a sort of, you know, like the Toni Storm route where she came back and like not timeless. I was going to try and like sort of do something like that where she was going to come out and like pretend that her time on SmackDown didn't happen. And then like, yeah. Or I was going to have her come out like fucked up. But I decided that fucking her up would have sort of undone the entire arc. So I went with neither of those and she's just going to be like, well, you'll see. You know, I've got her stuff planned. Obviously, I've got her stuff planned out for the next coming months. So, yeah. So I went with option number 3 of those. So for that, I guess her music coming out would still be Combat. Like, yeah. Like the NXT Dakota Kai heel theme song. Or the one that she's been using that isn't Hail to the King. That one. 76. Sure. Calm little opening match. But Dakota does pick up the win for her team. She pins Tiffany Stratton with a scorpion kick in 16:23. 68 for Mariah, 70 for Anne-Marie, 79 for Tiffany, 81 for Dakota, 78 for Tegan, 81 for Charlotte. And yeah, Dakota is back. She's now here on Monday Night Raw. She was only banished from SmackDown. And she's helped her friend Tegan Nox score the win here tonight. And then after the match, you know, her and Tegan sort of hug, like, they're back together, the friends, after all they've been through. And Charlotte sort of like, I don't mean to break up the Yuri party here, but she looks down like the IC title's on the floor. And, you know, Charlotte goes to pick it up, and then Tegan sort of like stops her, like, hey, what the fuck you doing? And then Dakota's like, hey, what the fuck are you doing? To Charlotte as well, obviously, because her and Tegan are friends. And then Tiffany, like, Mariah May and Anne-Marie scummy, and they take the belt and they leave with it. But we now have this interesting scenario where technically all 3 of these women have pinned Tiffany in her last 3 matches. So who's going to get the title shot? 79, they don't seem to fucking click. Okay, this doesn't happen to the men. Even TEW hates women. But Lyra defeats Alexa, 16:37 with a Nightwing. 76 for Lyra, 81 for Alexa to advance to the Queen of the Ring final. Lyra wins the Raw bracket, and she will face Nova or Jordan later on tonight in the Queen of the Ring final. Yeah, those ratings are weak, and obviously because of the chemistry. But yeah, Lyra Valkyria does knock off Alexa here tonight to advance to the Queen of the Ring final, where she will face... This also gets a 79. Jesus Christ, okay. I told you, you know, in terms of in-ring stuff, this wasn't going to be as good as King of the Ring. But Jordan Grace and Nova Nebula, they have a house fight. It goes 15:27. And Nova Nebula, the reigning Queen of the Ring, her quest to go back-to-back does continue. As she puts down Jordan with the area 451 in 15:27. 68 for Jordan Grace, 83 for Nova. So yeah, Lyra Valkyria and Nova Nebula, which is technically 2 heels. I did, you know, start planting the seeds that Nova was sort of like pissed off at Candice. So I assume she would be the de facto babyface in this match. But yes, Nova and Lyra in the Queen of the Ring final later on tonight. But of course, before then, JFlow and Huntrix meet up. You know, we're in the world of K-pop Demon Hunters. And you know, the manager guy, he knocks on the door and he says, you've got special guests that want to come perform with you. And in walk JFlow, and all of the comedy ensues. from that. Harley was held back by the language barrier, not being able to speak the same. That's probably a funny bit in there, you know, even though technically these are speaking Korean, but in TEW, Korea doesn't exist, so yeah. But yes. Actually, no, that could actually be the joke, you see, because you think that JFlow is going to speak the same language then, but they're not, because they're not Korean, they're Japanese, and Harley can somehow speak Korean because she can fucking do everything. There we go. That's the funny haha. And then, obviously, you know, hilarity ensues. They hand weapons to JFlow. They can't use them. Maki is a demon with the sword or whatever. And, you know, he takes people's heads off with it. All the comedy that comes with this. And it's like Space Jam style. So, Maki is attacking animated villains and demons with the sword. And yeah, huge pop, brother. 69, sure. The Bella Twins against Jade and Jada. Jade pins Bree with the Jaded in 8:32. 57 for Jada, 80 for Jade, 53 for Nikki, 33 for Bree. So yeah, Jade Cargill and Jada Parker, they do pick up the win here. I believe that's the last of the Divas teams they need to face. And yeah, all of that was to build to Evolution, where they got a tag match against the Bellas. So yeah, Jade Cargill and Jade win. We then get the next segment in our arc. You know, it's a very quick arc. It progresses nicely because we've only got so much time on the show. JFlow and Huntrix fight to save the Honmoon. They kill demons together. I don't know if I can do spoilers because the film will still relatively be new out at this point in time. But yes, demons come in, and Maki, of course, she wipes the head off the fucking demons. And, you know, there's a joke in there going, hey, you should come and fight our demon. And it's a picture of Cammy. And, you know, the Huntrix girls look at Cammy and like, oh, I don't know, that demon seems too scary. You know, we don't want to fight her. And they go, yeah, she is. She's a bitch. But yes, Maki beheading, although I say just Maki, all of them, but, you know, she's the head honcho here. So her and Rumi would do most of the work. 75. I expected a little bit better from that, to be honest. Maybe they're just not popular in Japan. Triple threat match. This is the first match of the show that really has, like, a lot of hype for it. It's been a long time coming, these three. And we're going to get the triple threat match here tonight. And the finish comes. I know the exact finish we got here. Because it's very similar to a match that happened in Evolution in real life. Shantae and Kathy, they're slogging it out. They're hot. I don't know if Kathy's really a horse. I haven't really imagined. She's like normal sized woman. She was my Rise character in 2K this year. So like I'm trying to picture that version. She's like, yeah, 5'5" so she can probably slug, but not. I wouldn't call her a horse. But Shantae does end up on the upper hand of that. She gets Kathy up. She hits that running power bomb, and then, you know, Naomi breaks that pin up. She like breaks it up by booting Shantae in the face, and then Shantae gets pissed off, and Naomi, you know, she starts to antagonize Shantae, but Shantae's getting more and more angry. Then as you see as she turns around, you know, you finally piss this fucking big teddy bear off, and Naomi looks panicked. She goes, "Oh fuck!" And then as she goes to leave the ring, Shantae grabs her like by the waist of her like trunks or whatever, and then as she goes to like nail Naomi with another powerbomb, Kathy gets up. She slides in from the back. She grabs like. Okay, I need to specify this. Razzle Dazzle, her finishing move, is a rolling Unprettier. So, she goes to grab her from behind into that position, nails the rolling Unprettier, and then Kathy gets on top. She goes to get the pin. Naomi jumps in. She rolls up Kathy as she pins Shantae and steals the win. Yeah. 77 for Kathy, 89 for Naomi, 77 for Shantae. And Naomi makes defense number 2 of the $1 million title. But Naomi, still the $1 million champion here in Seoul. We then cut backstage. Hams and Shotzi are like prepared for the match. Because their 6-woman tag is coming up next. And then Tatum walks in. And she's sort of a little bit shaken up. She goes, "Hey girl, ready for the match tonight?" And Shotzi goes, "Yeah, you good?" And Tatum goes, "What? Are you good? Are you okay?" She goes, "I'm fine." "Why?" She goes, "You know, just seemed a little bit weird since Tuesday night. Did something happen? I wasn't around. And, like, Ham just sort of, like, looking at Tatum, like, aggressively shaking her head, like, don't fucking tell her. She goes, no, it's nothing. We saw, you know, we're good. And she goes, are you sure? And Shane goes, I'm good. Charlie's like, well, because you're really starting to look and act like I did when I was at my lowest, like, all those months ago. Tatum goes, I'm fine. Let's just win this match. Music plays, and out they come for the 6-woman tag later on tonight. Oh, not later on tonight, now. 79, I'll take that. Because the Outcasts aren't super over. Apparently neither is Stephanie, but she was really off her game. But yes, the Outcasts do fall to our Avengers team here. Rhea Ripley pins Tatum Paxi with a Riptide in 13:23. 77 for Stephanie, 85 for Rhea, 88 for Florence, 74 for both Hams and Tatum, and 68 for Shotzi. So yes, the trio of top babyfaces does pick up the win here tonight, but that does not mean their alliance is over. And the second the bell rings, they're no longer on the same page and they're no longer friends. And, you know, they stand tall celebrating in the ring. Imagine Florence is in the middle, holding the belt, or holding both women's hands up. She's got the belt over her shoulder. And then, like, as she puts their arms down, both Stephanie and Rhea Silva's, like, immediately turn to her and, like, look at the belt, look at her face. And she just sort of shrugs and goes, yeah, I fucking knew this, yeah, sure. And then Rhea sort of, like, sarcastically pats Florence on the back and leaves the ring. And then Stephanie, her and Florence are still going face to face when Asuka appears and she mists Stephanie Vaquer in the face. And Florence goes to hit Asuka, she ducks, Asuka knocks her out of a big kick. And then Rhea, like, she's halfway up the ramp at this point. But she does, like, sort of stop, but she hears the commotion in the ring. And Asuka's in there, like, dancing around like only Asuka can. You know, Stephanie's getting her eyes cleaned. And Rhea does sort of turn around and slowly start walking back towards the ring. And then Asuka's just in there. She's got mist, like, hanging out of her mouth. And Rhea gets to the apron. She, like, puts her hands up there. She thinks better of it. And she does just walk away and leave. Because, again, you know, a friend in this situation would help these people. But these aren't friends. They were, to steal a phrase, allies of convenience. And, you know, it actually benefits Rhea more to not help them at this current moment in time. So she leaves. And Asuka, she picks up the belt, you know, she mists her feet, or, like, puts her fingers in her mouth and, like, smears the mist on the belt before she, like, puts it back down. And Asuka stands tall here tonight. 90-rated tag match, here we go. Here's where the wrestling starts, brother. Oh, it's because it's in Japan, and sorry, it's over in Japan. Okay, yeah, fair. Yes, Aphrodite against the New Millennium. This actually goes 18 minutes 33, but I let these girls cook. And there's obviously a story here, because Yoko is out at ringside with them. We haven't seen the Megasis since Friday. She lost, and I guess that pissed her off, and so she's not here. But Cammy's out there with Yoko. And as the match goes on, you know, eventually, I imagine by default, because it's in Japan, Utami and Saya would be playing babyface in this match. But, which that is going to then make this next segment, or not segment, this then part of the match a little bit awkward. But, you know, que sera, sera. Utami, she's dominating. She throws, like, Cora Jade about. She hits the hijack bomb on Cora. Roxanne comes in and breaks it up. Roxanne and Utami get into a little bit of a fight. And Roxy takes Utami down. Utami makes the tag. In comes Saya. She starts going crazy. And, you know, she's going so crazy. She flies in to try and take down Roxy. And then Roxy rolls out of the way. And Saya accidentally boots the referee in the face. The referee goes down. And, you know, she goes to try and pick up the fight. She nails the Star Crusher on Roxy Perez. Gets the visual 3 count, but obviously it doesn't count because the referee's down. And then Utami's, like, going to ringside. She's, like, shouting at Cammy, you know, what the fuck? You can get the referee up. She goes to pick the referee up. Big pop from the crowd. Julia runs in. She nails Utami with a big knee to the face. They start brawling around ringside. Cammy, you know, she's trying to get involved, but she gets shoved to the floor by, like, I imagine both of them. and like because they're just so heated and like locked onto each other. So she ends up, getting shoved on her ass. Yoko wants to come and help Julia, but Cammy's like, no, don't you fucking go. You stay here and help Saya. And then with the referee down, obviously that's not a DQ. They fight off. Saya tries to go it alone. She grabs the chain. Roxy ducks the chain. Bang, pop rocks. Referee then comes to 1, 2, 3, and still. Roxy Perez and Cora Jade, a very valiant effort, and nearly came up short here tonight. But thanks to a returning Julia, they are still the Women's Tag Team Champions. Long may they reign. And there's the brawl. Yes, the brawl continues. Imagine it spills back into the ring after the match. And then eventually Cammy does have to get involved. She stands in the middle of both and goes, no, you stop. Stop. And Julia sort of shrugs and goes, why the fuck should I listen to you? Okay, this bitch kicked me out of your group. And Utami's like, what the fuck should I listen to you, bitch? I own this group. And then so they have to do we do a pull apart brawl, We only do one of them, but Triple H does them when he's got nothing else to do. I've got other things to do, it's fine. And Yoko then gets into the middle, I imagine, as, Julia, she fights free of the security, and as she goes to charge towards Utami, Cammy sort of, orders Yoko to get in there, and she, cuts Julia off, no, stop. And then, as it all calms down, Utami goes to leave, and she, sucker punches Julia on her way out, and then Yoko stays in the ring checking on Julia. Oh, wait, and no, Saya can do that, not Utami. I forgot Saya's still out here. Yeah. And then get Huntrix again. They've saved the Honmoon in animated form, and we get the actual singers coming out on stage to perform Golden live here in Seoul, and use it as a backdrop for the Queen of the Ring final presentation. They bring the crown and the robes and the scepter and all that out. We get a highlights package airing on the big screen as they play, and then Lyra and Nova make their way out afterwards. Queen of the Ring final. Who is gonna go to SummerSlam? 92, best match of the show so far. It goes 1944, and Lyra Valkyria does win the Queen of the Ring. 88 for Lyra, 89 for Nova. And yes, Lyra Valkyria. I don't even think I need to do a segment announcing it, because we've made it pretty clear that she wants to challenge for the WWE Women's title. With Gunther, Gunther had not really declared allegiance to either belt. Actually, no, I don't even know why I'm saying this. We're going to have her take the mic in a minute, so she can say it on there. But yeah, she will challenge either Bianca Belair or Bayley for the championship at SummerSlam. After the match, she goes, unlike Gunther, who is a very traditional man, doesn't do gimmicks. He just holds the crown up high and, takes the crown and doesn't put the fucking robe in. Lyra gets all robed out. She puts her robe on, she puts her crown on. The pyro goes off, and she takes the microphone and she goes, ladies and gentlemen, as your Raven Queen, thank you for letting me finally reach the mountaintop where I deserve to be. No longer are you looking at Bird Girl, you're looking at the goddamn Queen. It's a story to be admired, if I do say so myself. Now this goes out to one woman other than myself. She turns to the camera and she goes, Bayley, I did it. We're halfway there. Tonight you're gonna bring it home. And as you said, it's time. And we can go on to SummerSlam together to fight just us. Under one roof. With you as the champ and me as the queen. Video package. Takedown. Huntrix Takedown is the video package theme song for this one. Because Candice is a demon and needs to be taken down by our heroes. Yes. And, Ember Moon And Candice LeRae, Ember does have in possession of the Liberty Championship that belongs to Kyrie after Candice stole it and gave it to her at the Celebration. And tonight, there will be a title change in this next match, the first of our co-main events. I hate that fucking branding, but I'm going to use it tonight because I feel like it makes sense. Yes. And then we cut to the ring, you know. Ember Moon has a special entrance because I can get away with doing this for Ember because Ember Moon is a geek, like not like in real life, and B, like it wouldn't be as out of character for her. We're gonna have her put on the demon paint, not the Finn Balor demon paint, you know. Again, the markings, the K-pop Demon Hunters demon markings to mark that you're a demon. She's gonna have those on because she's a bad guy, and we're gonna have, you know, I can't remember what it's called. Fucking my K-pop Demon Hunters lore is escaping me. The villain thingy, the big fire on the Titantron as she comes out, as if she's a demon sent from hell to slay our heroes. Okay, so this actually worked perfectly. I was worried how this was going to... Obviously, with that stipulation in the game, I didn't think this game was smart enough to work within the parameters of that, of, you know, both singles titles being on the line in a tag match, but it seems to have gone on swimmingly, so egg on my face, I guess. I guess this fucking game can acknowledge that. 85 rating for the match. I kind of feel vindicated because it says that Kyrie and Ember don't have any chemistry as partners. So, like, the entire thing of me noting that they are not friends and, like, this is not a tag team / stable or whatever, I feel vindicated now because the game agrees. But yes, Kyrie and IYO, obviously they are fine together because they are former tag team champions 2 times over, I believe. In fact, this was a WrestleMania match. Like, I sub out Ember Moon for Bayley, and that was a women's tag title match at WrestleMania. Anyway, I'm rambling. IYO and Kyrie, of course, you know, they're very aggressive here tonight. They're trying to take their championships back because, you know, IYO got robbed of her championship literally at Money in the Bank, and Kyrie got robbed of her championship theoretically 3 weeks ago. And the finish comes when, you know, Kyrie and Ember on the outside, they're brawling. You know, imagine Kyrie, like, antagonizes Ember all match. Like, because outside of, well, they had to have history before WrestleMania, obviously, but they were friendly before then. And then, like, Ember got corrupted by the suspension that Candice then paid off, so she felt indebted to Candice. So we need to actually start, like, planting seeds of, like, actual disdain between Kyrie and Ember throughout the match. So they eventually do start fighting on the outside. I imagine, you know, Kyrie hits an insane elbow off the top to and out to the outside through a table or some shit. And that leaves our 2 main characters here. And Candice and IYO, they start slogging, throwing hands. And, you know, IYO gets the better of Candice. She goes, like, hits the drop kick. She kips up, she flips up, she starts pointing at herself, going, yeah. Soul's doing it, going crazy. Candice then gets to her feet. She drops IYO down. She nails the Wicked Stepsister. 1, 2, IYO kicks out. And Candice is getting visibly frustrated. You know, she keeps attacking IYO again. Punches raining down on her. You know, she hits a Lion Soul. IYO kicks out. You know, she throws everything she's got. IYO keeps kicking out. It's like, what the fuck is happening? And she goes to nail another Wicked Stepsister, but then as IYO picks her hands up, or she picks IYO's hands up, IYO slides underneath, round the back. She nails a drop kick. She drop kicks Candice LeRae into the apron, or into the turnbuckle. Now Candice drops down. IYO goes up top. She nails over the moonsault. 1, 2. Candice gets her foot on the ropes. But the referee counts free anyway. IYO wins back the women's world title. Kyrie makes defense number 6 of the women's Liberty title. IYO and Kyrie celebrate in the ring together. And Candice is obviously she's fucking furious. And, yeah. So, the good news is Candice isn't the champion anymore, but the bad news is that Candice isn't the champion anymore. And like we see, she's clearly like pissed the fuck off, and like we just get a shot of her face, and like you ain't ever seen anger like this on a wrestler's face before. And even Ember Moon sort of like walks past and looks at her like, what the fuck? I thought you were supposed to help me win the belt, and now you're fucking lost. So even Ember just sort of just walks out on her, and you know, Candice, she just sits on the apron, you know, hair all messy, just sort of just blankly staring, like smiling at herself. She also knows she can't beat up this referee for being corrupt, because that's what got Ember Moon suspended. So she sort of sits there just staring blankly at the floor. And then she just storms to the back. Yep, I know this is gonna be a bizarre decision, but, you know, stay with me, brother. You know, I don't do stuff like this on a whim for no reason. It's fine. Relax. Take a chill pill. Candice FC. Bianca and Bayley. Your idol, Sarge Boys. Video package. Because, you know, Bayley is our idol. And, yeah. She is Miss Evolution. She's about to make her third main event, which makes her the most main eventist women's wrestler in the history of WWE and Evolution. But can she bring home the WWE Women's Championship? We're about to find out. 91. I'll take that. Sure. I don't know what all the other Candice or the other Bianca and Bayley matches get, but I'll take that, sure. Especially for a match that is a backdrop for an angle, basically. Because we cut to Lyra backstage, you know, watching with her crown on a lot during the match. Because we're going to find out who she wrestles at SummerSlam in this match. And it is Bianca, of course, who picks up the win. Basically, no shenanigans. Like, Lyra doesn't come out, Roxy and Cora don't come out, Jakara's not out there. And you can tell, like, as the match starts to go on, Bianca is sort of like, because she started skeptical of Bayley, like, Bayley's going to be a fucking bitch and bring out, you know, them other women to help her. And then she doesn't, and she's like, huh, I see. And then, like, she starts to show more and more respect to Bayley as the match goes on. And then after she wins, Bayley gets to her feet as she's celebrating. Oh, Bianca, by the way, I forgot to mention, for this main event, we're gonna, I don't know, actually die, or like spray on dye or something, but she's gonna dye her hair purple because she has the Rumi braid, so it makes most sense to have her just, you know, make her hair purple so she can look like the character. But yes, Bianca does pick up the win, and then after the match, you know, Bayley's on her feet, and she offers her hand out to Bianca Belair. Actually, no, other way around. Bianca offers her handshake out to Bayley as a sign of, you know, like, you know, yeah, you were right. I was wrong to doubt you. And then that's when Lyra and Cora and Roxy come out. The Nexus music hits and they come out. And Lyra goes, Bayley, no. Don't you shake her hand, okay? Bayley, I'm disappointed, but I'm not angry. If anything, it's fine, because now I get to go to SummerSlam and beat Bianca, avenge you, my best friend, and become the new WWE Women's Champion. But Bianca, she seems a little bit lost here, doesn't she? Bianca doesn't really know about us, does she? And Bianca sort of looks at me like, what the fuck you on about? And she looks at me and goes, what's she saying? Come on. And she pulls out the Nexus armband and shirt. She goes, you said tonight was time, huh? Just because you lost doesn't mean I no longer want you. Let's make us official. And Bayley takes the mic. She goes, Lyra, ever since you came around after WrestleMania, you've wanted me a part of this Nexus group. And I've seen it up close and personal. And you're right. I said tonight was time. Lyra Valkyria. She like takes the Nexus armband off her. You want me to join the Nexus? Help me take this place back? Help me plant the flag for the future of this division and this company. What I've always aspired to do and always aspired to be, and now I can do it on the front line. Well, it seems like a win-win. But Lyra, my answer is hell no. Big pop. Bianca like cheers that as well. Lyra sort of like just looks defeated at the camera. You know, she gives one of those. She's very, because again, I said this about Liv earlier on Raw. Said the same thing about Lyra, but like even better. Lyra is also very facially expressive, facially charismatic. I'll call her. So she can obviously sell the reaction, which is what I'm looking for. Is not really of shock, but sort of just like, well, of course. Well, why the fuck would you do that? And then Lyra goes, "You know what, Bayley? It's fine. It's fine. I do just have to say that I'm sorry." And Bayley looks confused, like, for what? And she turns to Cora and Rocky goes, "Not to you. To you two. This whole time you were right. I know it's been eating you both up that I was trying to get Bayley to join this group and you knew who she really was and you were warning me not to do it. But now, it's fine. You may finally do what you've wanted to do this whole time. Take care of her." And then Cora and Rocky sort of like put their butts like, "Yeah, let's fucking go. We get to beat up Bayley. That's our favourite hobby." Bianca like tries to step in to fight alongside Bayley. Lyra takes Bianca down. They fight off through the crowd. And then Bayley tries her hardest to fight by herself against Cora and Roxy. And Cora and Roxy do start to like overwhelm her. They go outside. They get steel chairs. They start wailing on Bayley. And Roxy's like, "What's the matter, Bayley, huh? Nobody coming to save you this time? Because we retired AJ. We put her on the shelf." Chair shot. She goes, "Now you get to finally learn your lesson. Okay? You get to go and sit next to AJ in the hospital bed." But why there is someone coming out to save Bayley. Because it's fucking boss time in Seoul. Sasha Banks. She makes her way out. Cora and Roxy look surprised to see her. She gets into the ring. And she gets into the face of Cora and Roxy, sort of just like smiles at both of them. And she looks down at Bayley on the floor. And she like gestures like, "Hand me the chair." And Cora and Roxy are like both shocked. Are like, "Hey, we'll let Sasha take care of her. Okay, I guess she might want to join." And then Sasha knows she kneels down next to Bayley. And then she says, "You're a revolutionary, huh? You did all this. You created all this. Is that right, huh?" And then she stands up. She goes to swing the chair at Bayley. Cracks it across the back of Cora Jade. Big pop. Roxy Perez charges at Sasha. Chair to the gut. Chair to the back of Roxy. Roxy goes outside the ring too. And then she looks back down at Bayley. Bayley like starts getting to her feet. She looks a bit taken aback. And, you know, because the last time we saw these two, they were technically enemies. And, you know, Sasha and Bayley sort of like just stare across at each other. And they look down at their feet and see their babies. The tag team championships just laying on the floor. And then Sasha like cracks a smile at Bayley. Bayley cracks one back. They hug. Big pop. And Cora and Roxy scurry back up the ramp. So Bayley was right this whole time. It was time. Boss time. And then, in a post-show segment, JFlow X Huntrix, this is what it sounds like. Video recap package. Thank you all for coming. This has been K-Pop Demon Hunters presents WWE Evolution 7. 85. The show seemed worse because it wasn't good. Okay, valid. But my argument would be they're two completely different shows. Like, the wrestling, for lack of a better, I would prefer King of the Ring. But, this is for the kids and, the cinema nerds. Even though those fans do hate women, so I don't know, really. But yes. But they are very different shows. I know King of the Ring was better than Evolution last year as well, I believe, but that was just a normal Evolution show. But these seem uncomparable in my mind. But yes, I'll take the hit of K-Pop Demon Hunters Presents Evolution not being as good of a show as the show that had a 38-minute or 28-minute Okada versus Gunther match. Okay, my fucking bad. But yes, I'll see you on the other side for the media scrum. It seems like everyone agrees that K-Pop Demon Hunters Presents Evolution 7 has been a successful show. What are your thoughts now that it's over? I'm delighted it went so well. IYO SKY won the WWE Women's title tonight. Should we be expecting her to have a long title reign? We are going to get behind her with a big push. I'm sure that would come as a surprise to anyone who hasn't been watching. But again, I don't want to get too ahead of myself, so let's say I have a lot of faith in her. Mariah May was off her game tonight. Who cares? Rhea Ripley is heading off to make a movie. Does her absence represent a significant issue for you? This is the actual, in the game, this answer here, well, it's a great opportunity for someone else to step in and take her spot, sounds passive-aggressive because they've ended it with an ellipse. But, that really is the answer. Rhea is going away after SummerSlam to film a movie. I believe I've said this on the show before. But I feel like that will just piss Rhea off if I say that, but that is the actual answer. But yeah, I'm happy for her. She gets to finally be in Terrifier 4, I guess. You seem to be having great success in the Japanese market while we're in Korea, but sure. We're giving the fans great shows. I'm not surprised we dominate. What, if anything, you plan to do about Yoko Ubihara, so particularly she's annoyed about how things are going for her? She's part of a story. I'll talk to her. Yeah. I don't know why she's pissed off at me. After her excellent performance, I do have plans to get behind Naomi with a big push. I haven't seen this question ever. After her excellent performance tonight, do you have plans to get behind Naomi with a big push and make her a big star in WWE, or do you think she's too old for that? Age is no barrier. I guess there is more value in pushing younger talent. Oh no, I'm happy to get behind her. I just would need to find something that I want her to do. But yes, that ends the media scrum. That ends Evolution. 2 nights in Seoul behind us. And we're now officially on the road to SummerSlam. It is only 3 weeks. There's only 3 shows. 3 Raws, 3 ECWs, 3 SmackDowns before SummerSlam. But, if you missed King of the Ring, John Cena told us that he plans to retire tomorrow night on Raw in Toronto. So, not to be a Debbie Downer and end this on a down note or all, but yeah.